Here is part 2 of one theory of how and why it happened. It was a real revelation to learn that there was a New Agey subset of the LDS Church. That would indicate that there are many Mormons who are left wanting in their personal relationships with God. The Luciferian disciplines fill that inner need with exciting mysteries and cool technologies. But bear in mind that Lucifer is speaking to your unconscious shadow material. The shadow material is a veritable Pandora's box. Most people don't want to go there, as processing your old trauma is painful. But this is important healing work to do, because it is the unconscious, repressed shadow material that leads to depression or delusion. If neglected, it can build up enough to cause a person to erupt and act out. And these eruptions can lead to tragic consequences. Now, if you're watching this, then you too have been racking your brains trying to figure out the how and why of the Chad and Lori Daybell debacle. And I'm going to lay out this theory, and of course it's just theory, it's just speculation. I might be way off base. It's just when something this horrible occurs, I want to try to make some sense of it. Chad and Lori were not Mormons, not in spirit. They may have been doing Mormon activities, operating in Mormon society, but they were both masquerading. They probably had been masquerading all their lives, miserable, desperately unhappy with their existences, and feeling painted into a corner in their middle age. Their repressed shadow material manifested as grandiose delusions, Lori claiming she had been married to the angel Moroni, and Chad in his portal with his pendulum communing with the dead. What they professed to believe was a gross perversion of Mormonism, as they had no real use for the LDS Church and probably never did, as it was merely an institution they had been born into and had forced down their throats. Their folie à deux offered them both a way out together. Now, lots of people leave their spouses without feeling the need to murder them. Narcissists routinely devalue and discard others, but rarely do they stoop to taking them out or having their brother do it for them. And one can understand the proverbial midlife crisis, but you would expect there to be some compassion for their spouses of 13 years or even 30. One would expect a degree of mercy for JJ and Ty Lee. The ability to perform the mental gymnastics necessary to rationalize away the humanity of 4 people, including to what amounts to retroactively aborting the kids, could only stem from a simmering, percolating hatred and resentment of everything they represented. Such was the need to obliterate the past, a past they clearly had no regard for. Their absolute lack of conscience and ability to nonchalantly go ahead with their lives until the day Lori was arrested reveals that these two are truly monsters. That even today they show no remorse evidences that they are monsters. They were already damaged and twisted before they ever got together. But in the intoxicating chemistry of their shared delusions, together they crossed the point of no return. They gave each other permission to give themselves over completely to their shadow sides. When they labeled Charles and the kids zombies, that was projection. That's essentially what they themselves had become. When Melanie Pawlowski and the Coxes cover for Lori, they are simply doing what the family has always done, sweeping everything under the rug. And as for Alex Cox, the most generous thing I can say is that he must have been living out some kind of ninja assassin live-action role play. Well, that's all I have for today. This has been my theory. Simply speculation, just simply trying to figure things out. Thank you for listening. After Arts out. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'd be delighted to have you. Your support will help keep the content fresh and always evolving. Thanks again for your support. After Arts out.